Hello everybody. Welcome to Etc's latest interview. I'm really excited about this. We've got David from the Grove Media. He made me say that we do say the Grove Media and not just the Grove. Who I've known for quite a long time. Not a client of mine. I'm just privileged enough to talk to lots of agency owners and founders and leaders. And David's agreed to have a chat with us. And the topic of today is client retention. And David's in a very, very almost unique position in my experience because of the length of the client retention or the client retention rate that they have in their business. And he's kindly offered to share some of the insights and some of the secret sauce that the Grove have, maybe that's behind this incredible retention rate. But we'll get into all of that. Firstly, welcome, David. Do you want to just kind of give us a quick intro to you and to the Grove Media?
Yes, I will do. Thanks a lot, Andy, for inviting me onto the show and giving me this opportunity to chat with you. So the Grove Media first opened its doors for trading in 1977, would you believe? We were called TCS Media at that point, and we're an independent entrepreneurial media planning and buying agency. For those of you who don't know what media planning and buying is, simply we put our clients' products and services in front of their potential customers through paid for media. And paid for media is television in all its forms now. It can be radio, can be outdoor, can be cinema, social media, and all things online as well. We've got 27 staff split across 3 locations. Our main office is based in Notting Hill in London. We also have an office in Birmingham and Wilmslow. And the point of the regional offices is purely we have a lot of regional business within the agency group. So we like to be close to our clients, okay? We specialize working with ambitious businesses. They tend to be less entrepreneurial, just like us. And they're spending up to 3 million in terms of advertising and media spend. And our philosophy as an agency is based around something that we call real world media planning and buying, which if you've got half an hour, I can tell you all about. It's multifaceted, but it's all about, operating and speaking as if we're in the real world. This business that we operate in, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So we're very straight talking. I think the clients like that. And we cut through all the jargon, and everything we do hopefully makes sense to them. I think
it's evidently true that it does because of the topic that we're talking about today.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the businesses, the clients that we work with, the portfolio is really, really broad. And I think the original owners, when they first started trading, that was a deliberate strategy, if you like, not to be beholden to one particular business sector. So over the years, that's developed. And obviously, we've been through many recessions. And obviously, the pandemic was still in it. Let's be fair. And I think that strategy of having a broad client base has really paid off, over the years. And we've got some fantastic brands that we work with. They've all got challenges. Our job is to solve their challenges by, connecting them with their audience, using media in a joined up common sense style. If you looked at the portfolio itself, we work with, loads of arts and events, venues and promoters, from the Royal Albert Hall through to, Harvey Goldsmith, would you believe? We worked with Harvey in the past, through to Raymond Gubby, who were a massive promoter in the arts and entertainments. We work with Animal Friends Insurance. We work with the Lowry. We work with Daikin, University of Law, and various shopping centres. So, if you looked at it, it's all about, destination shopping, arts and entertainments, education, and even charity. But they're all doing really one of two things. That's our remit. They're asking us, to either get their potential customers, to go to a show, go to, a shopping mall, or we're creating brand awareness for these particular, clients, and that's where our kind of skill sets lie. So I hope that makes sense.
It really does. And you say you don't specialize, but I think you may not specialize in vertical, but you specialize in what you're trying to. Your skill is getting people to come to a location,
absolutely,
or to raise awareness of that location, so they're more likely to. So to some extent, it is a specialism, but it's not a vertical specialism. So
absolutely right. We are getting people, basically we're getting them off of their backsides and asking them to do something, and that could be, like you say, physical. Go and visit a show, go to a destination, or it could be signing up to an education course online or buying tickets online. That's you're right. That's our speciality,
which is great. So the amazing stats that we spoke about a long time ago, and I got quite excited when you said you'd share your kind of secret sauce recipe a bit, because could you just share some of the numbers? You have a surprising number of clients.
We do. And you
have an even more surprising sort of average length of client, which is because client retention and client churn are quite difficult to measure, because typically we measure it in terms of revenue. We could also measure it in terms of the number of clients that churn, and they give you different pictures. But you we're talking here specifically about the average tenure of a client. Can you tell us how many clients you have, and talk about that tenure, because it's
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The last time we looked, we had 250 plus clients of all ranges and sizes, and I'm not aware of many agencies having that many clients, to be honest.
I don't think any of these books would say that's the classic number to aim for is 250. Not one of them.
Yeah, no, not at all, not at all. The reality is, if you looked at the top 30 of our clients in terms of billings, they account for about 80% of the billings of the agency. Right. And their average tenure, would you believe, is 15 years, which is pretty unique, isn't it? I have to say.
I think across that number of clients, I think it really is.
Yeah.
And when you first mentioned the number to me, I thought, okay, that's fine, but they probably got one big client they've had forever. It's someone's brother-in-law, and it's skewed all the numbers up, and everyone's churning around the edge of it. But with 30 clients delivering that much revenue, and within those core clients to have a retention rate of say the number again, because no one's going to believe me if I say it.
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
15 years. I've got,
it's remarkable. It makes me feel a bit old, to be honest.
Well, I don't suppose you won them all in the first place, but that gives, there's something going on here, because you can't have that many clients with that average. There's some consistent behaviors going on here that are interesting to know about. And I understand the long tail, and that's a different and actually equally interesting debate, but we won't get into that today. But these 30 clients you've had for such an incredibly long period of time, what's going on? What's going on that that you're managing to do this?
Yeah, when I start talking, I think what I'm going to say is not unique. It's not something that is not already out there for people to view or read. Fundamentally, for me, and I guess everyone who works within the agency, our relationships are built on trust, and we have a great mutual respect for our clients in terms of who they are as people, but also their businesses. And I think that is really, really important.
Just happened there, you may notice that David is now looking considerably more blurry than he was. We had a camera failure. We're back in the room. You were just telling us about trust and respect and sort of knowing your clients as people.
Yeah, absolutely. And the relationships are really founded on trust. It's so important. It's the central pillar of a really successful relationship. And it's something that, we instill into all members of the agency. So from top to bottom, it's so important. And also to have, mutual respect for the clients as people, and also as their business. And, if you look at the top 30, that's the foundation of our relationships. The other thing is we're really committed and we're really interested in the businesses that we work with. And we really do want to make them a success. We're not into short-termism in terms of, campaigns. Everything we do, we'd like to be a success because that's how we retain the client. We do a great job, the client keeps, coming back to us. So that's really important. We're invested in making their business a success. And also we have really low staff churn rates. So there's continuity right across, the groups that are working with the clients, and the clients love that. Okay. But that's not to say, we don't freshen things up. We're always constantly looking at, new ways of working and adding value for the client. So that's really important as well. But at the end of the day, this business is all about delivering. That's so important. And yes, central pillar is trust, but you have to deliver for the client. And that can be, anything from as small as answering an email on time, right the way to delivering a great piece of buying or a great proposal. That's what we mean by delivering. And you have to do that every single day. Okay. You cannot put your foot off the gas.
So I understand how, agency founders, shareholders, senior people can get all this stuff, and they, they're interested in the people and their businesses and the continuity.
Yeah.
But how do you get that across the entire business? You've got, nigh on 30 staff. How do you get all those people to be equally invested in that relationship? And if you could tell us what structure you have in place as well, so sort of what sort of structures you have to support those people and to keep them engaged.
Yeah. First and foremost, we've got a very experienced team at the Grove anyway. There's some old hands that have, been around the block a few times. And, they are really, great at, leading the teams beneath them. And, they support the business, a tremendous amount.
So do you have a client services structure, or do you have...
No, we don't. No, we're quite unique. We're quite unique because, the seniors, are leading the teams. For instance, I've got my own portfolio. So I'm dealing with, clients, on a day-to-day basis, as well as the actual day-to-day team as well. So, that's one of our, unique points as an agency. And, through that, and also we have a training program internally at the Grove as well. So, that combination of, the business owners, if you like, working on the business with very senior team leaders, that all filters down into the culture of the people that we hire. And right from day one, it's instilled, within the people that, we take on. And they could be grads, account managers, account directors. They are, if they're good enough, they get the responsibility and the training, to succeed us as business leaders and take on, all our experiences and what we've learned over the years. And I think we're of sufficient size for that to happen.
And what are you looking for when you hire someone then? What are those, what makes them a Grove Media type of person?
That's a really good question. Open and honest. They have to be open and honest. That's the first thing. Okay.
Can you tell that when you recruit?
Yeah, you can't, if you ask them a certain question and there's a bit of hesitancy and a bit of wishy-washy, then you kind of know. Mm-hmm. Our clients pick up on that as well. There's no hiding place. Okay. You either know the question or you don't. So, we always say to the guys, look, if you don't know the question, just, put your hand up and say, look, should know, but I don't, I'll get back to you. That kind of experience. Okay. Never try and blag it. Don't try and, answer something that you don't know. What else are we looking for? We're looking for people that can get on with people that, are willing to contribute, make an active contribution to the company, obviously know their stuff, but have great, personalities, and, can work with people and are willing to learn. No one knows everything. I'm of an age where, a hell of a lot of experience, but each day I'm learning more and more. And we're looking for people of that, that ilk, who are willing to learn, invest the time, go the extra mile. Part of who we are, our DNA, is obviously service orientated and very high levels of service, but actually going the extra mile for these clients, because that's not necessarily something that they get elsewhere, from different agencies.
Absolutely right. And I think it's something really important. It's very easy just to kind of, what David's just said there is just to sort of skim past that if you're watching this and go, well, those are just the sort of things people say, but actually really, really listen to that, because there's some stuff going on in there, which is about being prepared to learn, being prepared to admit that you don't know something, but when you say you'll find it out, you go and find it out. I think there's some really valuable. We'll pick all this out in the notes when we write this up as well. But don't underestimate those things in people that you hire. And I've always said, you hire for attitude up here, and then skills are down here, and you can teach the skills, but you can't teach attitude. You're going beyond that, I think, and you're really looking for a type of person who craves learning and has it sort of. I've been reading a lot of Brené Brown recently, and this idea of vulnerability, being prepared to admit that you don't know the answer. And we're in a business populated with people who aren't prepared to admit those things. So really fascinating. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited about it.
No, that's cool. There's one other thing. One other thing I was going to mention was, because of type of agency that we are, we tend to give juniors especially more responsibility sooner than perhaps they would within larger agencies, if they're good enough. Okay.
And what do you mean by responsibility there specifically? What do you mean?
If we take grads on and they accelerate through training, through skills, and the attitude is really good, we'll put them in front of clients, okay, over a shorter period than perhaps, say, a network agency where, there's a grad program and they go around this department and learn that. And that might take a year or two. But we are pretty much throwing people in at the deep end rather, pretty quickly. And so it is a bit of a, sink or swim, learning process. But the people that we hire, we know are going to succeed. And, people come to us and they come, they generally they love working with us. And when they move on, they always look back at the time at the Grove and, say, wow, I learned such a lot, because, I'm being, the job that I've gone to, I'm being told, a lot. This is amazing. We're hiring people with your, number of years experience who don't know half as much as you know. And it's because we put faith and a lot of time and effort and training into our staff to get them very quickly into a position where they're confident in handling clients' business. Okay. They're always backed up by a senior person. Though. We don't just put them on the business in isolation. That's not what I'm saying. We give people the opportunity, if they're good enough, to be client facing sooner than I think other agencies. And, we'll support them and back them up to the hill.
It sounds like you're saying that there's a relationship between staff retention and client retention.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. As I've already kind of alluded to, we've got, a low staff churn. I've been with the company now 15 years. Kieran, fellow business owner, same amount of time. Sean, the FD, even longer. So, and we've got a succession management team, taking shape in who've equally, not as long as 15 years, but of, 4 or 5 years with us. So we tend, to retain our staff. Again, it's, we've got some, really fantastic brands for people to work on. There's a wide variety, as I've already said. So that's the attraction. Plus the, responsibility, if they're good enough, why not give them a chance? And our people thrive on it.
I think it would be really easy if we just wrote down the words, and I've written lots of them down here, to just see them as the words that everyone spouts. But it's evident the difference here is that you believe this and you implement it.
That's right.
And you of all the words you wrote, the one I underlined twice, which means I thought it was serious, is people.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of people is hugely important. And if you mean it, it makes a difference. And you sort of shared the recipe here, but not lots of us have this recipe in various flavors.
Yeah.
But we're not sort of putting these ingredients together quite as successfully as you are. And I think that's what I would recommend people to do, is take away, revisit some of these core fundamentals, as I would call them, and have a look at what you're doing and compare and contrast, because the Grove Media is a really good agency, really doing really good work for a long time. And it's incredibly kind of you to share that with us. And it's reassuring that there's no magical thing you're doing, perhaps, but the thing is, you are doing, you're really, really deeply committed to some of the fundamentals. And that's the takeout. If everyone watching this, that just probably watch this again and just go back through it and make some notes. We'll share some notes as well. But David, it's incredibly kind of you to share that. No problem. It's amazing to hear the story, but it is one I wanted to chat to you about for a long time. We've had this in the diary for forever. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure if people want to get hold of you, how do they get hold of you?
They look at the website, www.thegrovemedia.co.uk. First point call, or drop me an email on dprice@thegrovemedia.co.uk.
Fantastic. David, perfect. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you.
Awesome.